stillness is hard. Sitting quiet while there's a hustle and a rustle and a bustle in the background. You know, my experience is very different today. It's just me and my dog here in the middle of nowhere. And still I'm thriving, and still I'm surviving. And still I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. You know, what is it like to be in the midst of chaos with young children running around, trying to be a teacher when you have no idea how to do that? You know, how to show up for yourself when, you know, chaos is alive and it's rampant wherever you are. Or maybe you're one of those people who are just living the dream. You're living life in a way that's just completely chill. It's completely cool. You know, there's a lot of questions that are kind of rolling around out there, and one of the biggest questions that I've had from several of you is, can I do breathwork online? And what does that look like? So I wanted to just come on here today and just have an formal, informal, intimate, non-intimate conversation around what it looks like to do a breathwork session virtually. For those of you who have never tried breathwork before, breathwork is a really awesome tool. It's a hack, right? Anything that you want to do bigger, anything that you want to do better, anything you want to learn about yourself, if you want to make decisions, if you want to gain insight, if you want to gain clarity, use breathwork, right? It's a tool that dives you into the deeper question, and it gives you access to the portal of answers, which is already you. So many of my clients have been coming to see me over the last 5 years to a place where we call home, you know, a breathing room of some sort, whether it was at the school that I used to work at or my most recent studio in Severna Park. And there's this space of holding, there's this space of a container that we build to help you go deep into, you know, the uncharted territories of your mind. And that could sound scary to a lot of people. And so, you know, having someone in front of you is really important, and it's very therapeutic. But what we're learning, and what I've been learning for the last several years, is that we don't need to be, like, I'm going to put that word need, you know, in quotations and bold and italics and underlining and big red colors, is that we don't need to have someone there. It's helpful, it's gracious, it's, you know, supporting. But in a time like this where we just can't, there is modification, there's opportunity. So a breathwork session in my office in Severna Park or at the studio here in Northern Neck is no different than what we would do together on a virtual screen. And what that looks like is me holding space all the same, right? I have an energetic way of tapping into who I am and into presence and into the experience that we are having as a co-creator of your healing. And so my coaching stays the same. My voice stays the same. You get to see me. I get to see you. And we get to start to uncover the anxieties. We get to uncover the fears. We get to uncover what you're being exposed to that's keeping you locked in these behavior patterns. And you know, the funny thing is, well, I don't know, it's really funny, but the ironic thing is that many of you are being introduced to the fears and the insecurities that you've worked so hard to push away and to hide and to run from most of your life. And now, because you're quarantined in a house with a lot of triggers, right? Our spouse is our trigger, our children are our triggers, you know, the food cabinet is a trigger. There are a lot of triggers that are in and around our life, and you're being asked to stand up to them one at a time, multiple times a day. And so this is exactly the type of thing that breathwork is amazing for, because are you ready to make that choice that I don't want to react in that trigger or to that trigger the same way that I did before? I don't want to yell. I don't want to run away. I don't want to run to food when I feel emotional. I don't want to snap at the people I love. I don't want to isolate. I don't want to feel shame or guilt or remorse when I do something that I shouldn't do or that I didn't want to do. And so part of what I want to explore today is just how do we create that space and that container in a platform that is online. So what breathwork looks like online is a container being held for you. You use a cell phone, you use a smartphone, you use a computer, you use a tablet, an iPad, and we put it up into a position that I can see you and you can see me, and I can see like all of this breathing space, because that's what it's really about. It's about breathing. It's about staying in tune with what's really happening for you. Sessions are about 75 minutes, sometimes 90 minutes long. We start with a conversation. We start about what's showing up for you. Where are your breathing habits now? How and why and in what ways is your breathing limiting you from being the best version of yourself? You know, if I was to ask you, what's your breath like when you first wake up in the morning? Would you know? How are you breathing right now? Would you know? How do you breathe when you're angry? How do you breathe when you're sad? How do you breathe when you're super excited and like over the moon feeling? How do you breathe when you're scared? How do you breathe when you're frightened? How do you breathe when you're happy? So we have these insights around how we breathe, but doing it alone doesn't always make sense. So you hire a coach, you hire a breathwork practitioner to work with you to start to uncover why you breathe the way you do. And that can be done anywhere, virtually, in person, on the phone. And so that's like a leading up to, and what the big picture, what the firework, the grand finale show is you getting relaxed, you getting vulnerable, you getting raw and open to start to look at why and who you do the things you are and do. And so part of that is a really deep process, but it doesn't have to go deep, right? It's only as deep as you want it to be, because you are in control of this process. That is the beauty of it. You are in total control. When you do breath work, you can start and stop the breath. You can increase or decrease. You can make it go faster. You can make it go slower. You can make it go deeper. You can make it go fuller. And so part of the rhythm of breath work is that you have control, which is what we're all asking for anyway. We all want to be in control of our own life. And I'm here to tell you that if you engage in conscious breathing, you will have that control. And so the next question is, well, how do I earn that control? How do I gain that control? And the breath is literally the access to a control panel. And virtually, I teach you how to do that. I teach you where it is, how to access it, how far to pull the lever back, what different gears you have. And we do it all in a very safe, non-judgmental, very private space. So that way you can feel supported, you can feel held, you can feel mentored. You can feel coached. You can feel like you have an accountability partner. You can feel like you have somebody that in between sessions, when you don't know what to do, or you don't know where you're going, or how you're doing this or how you're doing that, you can reach out and you can ask me. You can email me. You can text me. You can Facebook message me. We have so many portals and avenues and ways virtually to reach out that actually you have more access to me and to this information in a virtual world and environment than we do when we didn't have this world and environment. So breathwork virtually is a really powerful way to breathe. It's a way to tap into what's possible. It's a way to tap into relaxation. It's a way to tap into why do you have the anxieties that you have, and what techniques can you employ to bring you out of the feeling of anxiety. Because I'm going to jump on a soapbox here. Stress and anxiety is inevitable. Our country's on lockdown right now. Like, I can't change that. I can't stop that. That stresses me out. That creates anxiety in my body. My fight or flight system is kicking on and kicking in to high gear because it's built to do that. My sympathetic nervous system is saying like, whoa, dog, we have a big experience on our hands. We have a really, really deep challenge, and we need to fight, run, or freeze. But the cool thing is that when I tap into a parasympathetic, when I tap into relaxation via the product of my breath, now I can bounce back or recover from that stress so much quicker. Because stress is going to happen. I'm not here to tell you that you're going to breathe to stop the stress in your life, because that's false information. you are not going to stop the stress in your life. You can decrease the amount of things that cause stress in your life. You can ask people to leave your life. You can leave jobs or start jobs, or you can make those changes. But you can't literally stop your body from experiencing stress and anxiety. So breath is the first way to do that. And virtual breath work is an option. It is the option. It's the only option right now. So I know this is a long rant. My apologies for those of you who are sticking around and watching it. And but I really wanted to get my point across as to, why we're breathing the way that we're breathing, how we can change the way that we breathe, and why virtual breath work can support you in that. And it's really a matter of, are you ready? Are you ready to change what you're doing? Are you ready to change the behaviors and the patterns of behavior that you've been living in for most of your life? It's like a greater time than ever. We're at the forefront of the vulnerability. You are being made to feel. You are being made to experience the exposure of vulnerability. You are being asked to show up to your darkest secrets. And the question is, well, why? What is it about that? And my answer is, it's school of life. It's universal. It's like, okay, why not now? Why can't I just start to learn about who I am and start to make these shifts of change? And breath takes you there. Taking a deep breath into any situation that you're in, you can learn about what that situation will teach you. You can learn about how to alter or shift that perception of the situation that you're in, and you can apply a new breath to that situation you're in. And that, my friends, is what breath work is all about. It's about learning where you stand and then having the tools through a muscle memory process, through the breath course or the Feel Your Life program, or integrative sessions with me or another breathwork practitioner. It's about learning the tools and when to apply them and how to apply them. So that way, when life slaps you across your face and your breath starts to go erratic and dysfunctional, you can apply and employ a new tactic, a new tool, a new breath that brings your nervous system, it brings all systems back down into balance. You're literally breathing to send a message to the brain to say, I'm okay. You're literally breathing to send a new message to the brain that says you're okay. And that's just like magic. I don't know about you, but that's magic for me. And as soon as I learned how to do that, I was on cloud nine and I was shift shaping my new reality. And the way that you do it is that you start with the basics. Learn how you breathe. Learn the ways that you're breathing wrong. How are you breathing in the wrong way now? What does dysfunctional breathing look like for you? Learn about how and what that is, and I can help you. We can walk through it. We can talk through it. I watch you. I kind of diagnose you and say, here's what and here is how breath is going to affect you physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Then we start to go into a learning and a training of how to breathe the right way. Because over the course of any work that I do, you are not just seeing me for therapy, you are in training. My job is to train you how to breathe on your own the right way for the rest of your life. That is what this is all about. It's about teaching you how to breathe for enjoyment, how to breathe for laughter, how to breathe for life, how to breathe for health, how to breathe for performance, how to breathe for pain, how to breathe for pleasure. My job is to train you and to help teach you the exact tools that are for you, specifically for you, because all of you are different. You all learn differently, you all hear differently, you all experience life differently. So my job is to help teach you the material so that you can use this for the rest of your life. And then once you have that tool, once you have a way to breathe the right way, then we start to apply it to all of the crap that's happening in life. All those hand slaps, all those frustrations, all the life's not fair. Now we have dysfunction. We understand what dysfunction is. We have a toolbox. We've got the hammers and the nails and the screwdrivers and all the things. And now we just practice pulling which tool for which job. And the job could be grief. The job could be financial. The job could be pleasure. The job could be sleep. You know, are you struggling in any of those areas? Are you struggling to understand who you are? Are you struggling to go to sleep at night? Are you struggling to stay at sleep at night? Are you struggling with addiction? Are you struggling with emotional eating? Are you struggling with, acting out in the presence of a loved one? Like, those are the types of things that we use the tools in breathwork to apply. And that's essentially what we do in virtual breathwork. It's a long, long story of how and why, but that's what we do. We learn dysfunction, we teach you the tools, and then we practice how to use the tools to start to live your best life no matter what. Virtual sessions are via Zoom. They are, we have multiple available times. We have different packages. We have, stimulus packages for those who just don't have access to finances right now. I lead a free breathwork class every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. You just need to register on the website, abreathofwellness.com. We've got the beginner's breath course that happens every month, Tuesdays at 2, that we breathe and we learn, and I'm just throwing all of this content to you. And I know that that's a lot of information, and sometimes you just need accessibility, you need accountability, and you need coaching. And that's what these virtual breathwork sessions are going to give you. They're going to give you access and opportunity to start to learn a new way of being. Because guys, when all of this is over, you're going to be asked to show up in a very different way. Very different way. Life is not going to go back to the old normal. It's not. We're going to have a new normal, and we don't know what that is. We have no idea what that is. Uncertainty is the root of all of our evil. And so prepare yourself now. Get yourself acquainted with how you breathe. The one resource that you don't need to pay for, the one resource that you have access to no matter where you go, is your breath. It never leaves you. It's always there. It is always there. And so we breathe together in different ways. The breath course is running. We're finishing up this month, but we're going to have a new one starting on May 2nd, whatever the first Tuesday in May is. So for 4 weeks every month, we launch the breath course. It's a beginner's breath course. It runs every month. It's accessible to you. It's content, it's a live coaching session. It's done via Zoom, but we also have Facebook groups. We've got content, we've got practices, we've got accountability, you've got, a tribe that we're building. And then if you really want to dive in, we've got the Feel Your Life signature program that launches in June. And that's the big all process. If you're ready to literally feel your life, that is the experience. We have a workbook that goes with it. Super exciting. 12 elements of recovery. 12 elements of emotional and physical recovery that we go through in every week over the course of 90 days, over 12 weeks. So there is so much opportunity, so many ways for you to practice, so many ways for you to learn who you are, learn why you do the things you do, and to experience a new way of breathing. So reach out, send a message, let me know how I can help you. Free breathwork, donation-based, every Saturday morning at 9:30 at breathofwellness.com. Click on breathwork offerings, and let's get started. Let's teach you how to breathe. Teach you how to breathe. I'm going to wave at some people. I don't know if you're still here, but I'm waving at you. So lots of love, guys. Stay conscious, stay breathing. Stay open, stay willing. And when you're ready, reach out. The time is now. See you soon.